Hey everybody, we got a special treat for you this time. We've got someone here in the studio that is a local celebrity in my book. Who is this? Stick around, let's find out next. Hey everybody, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. You know you're a great real estate agent by your side when it comes time to buy a home, sell a home, or even relocate to the Treasure Valley. And if you're going to relocate to the Treasure Valley, well, obviously you want to know, has someone else done this before? Am I going to reinvent the wheel? And we've got Aaron in the studio. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Dave.
Wow.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Aaron has made that journey himself. He's moved up here from California. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Can't say the C word.
Right. And he's going to share some of his experiences. So if that's you, pay attention and stick around to the end. And we're going to tell you something else that you probably didn't know. Aaron, how you doing today?
Doing great, Dave.
My goodness, it's been way too long.
It has been too long. We just had a nice meal and it's just awesome seeing you again.
Catering this time was absolutely fantastic.
It was.
Oh, I hope we hire those guys again.
We got to leave them a Google review.
5 stars.
5 stars.
So I've known you for a while, and it turned out completely unbeknownst to me and him that we're from the same town in California.
Oh, that's right.
It's like, who would have thought? And then, but we never saw each other down there because, well, you're slightly younger than me.
You were slightly younger yourself.
I was, well, that's how things work. But so he gets up here. So I know the exact same places that he used to run around down there. And then you came up here.
Yeah.
And now, why is it that you wanted to come to Idaho?
Well, so, I went to school in Idaho. I went to BYU, Idaho. And in my church, they call it BYU I Do because that's where people go and they get married. I call it BYU What Did I Do? Because I made a mistake.
Oh, my gosh. Well, but fortunately, you were young.
Yeah. I was young, and that's how you learn, right? You make decisions, and it all works out to be the best. But so I was going to school there and got married and ran out of money. And so BYU Idaho is in Rexburg, and so it's about 4 hours, I think. I want to say, is it east, Dave? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I ran out of money, and I decided to join the military. And the recruiter there, man, he got me good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Air Force recruiter said, "You'll see the world, son."
Right.
And,
which part of the world did you see?
I got to see Boise, Idaho. Actually, Mountain Home.
Mountain Home.
That's where the Air Force Base is here. We do have one Gowan Field, right? But that's not where I was stationed at. I was stationed at Mountain Home Air Force Base.
Mountain Home's kind of a cute little town.
It's great, yeah. No, I mean, for what it was definitely a different experience for sure, especially when you compare living in California, the hustle and bustle that is there all the time compared to Mountain Home, where it's a long road to get to the base, and at the other side of that long road is a little teeny tiny town. Right. Yeah.
And we've actually shot some video down there, and you guys can go back and check that out, and we'll put some links down in the description. But the town really supports the military men and women there, and you just walk through the town, you can feel so much patriotic pride.
Yeah, there is a lot there. You'll find lots of murals there that are painted with what do you want to say? Just patriotic themes there.
Absolutely.
Lots of jets. You'll see lots of jets. There's a park in the heart of Mountain Home, the town itself, where there's big jet replicas there. It's just very good, friendly community, like you were saying. The reason why I ended up here in this area is because on the weekends, I would come up to the Boise area because this is where all the fun stuff was.
Oh, okay.
I was big into movies back then, and so I would come up and catch a movie. I would go to Costco to get set up for the week. And,
hey, looking for a good time in Costco.
Yeah.
Free samples.
But I found that I loved the Treasure Valley area.
Right.
And so I decided, I was like, I'm tired of living on base. I want to be able to just drive 15 minutes to where I want to go instead of having to drive 45 minutes from base to get to the Boise area.
Right.
But I mean, then you're swapping, a weekend trip for a daily trip at 45 minutes. But it felt worth it to me because I got to be in the Treasure Valley.
So now you lived in the Treasure Valley, still stationed down in Mountain Home, and you drove that every day.
Yeah. So it was an hour and a half there. And then you wouldn't think it, but with the commute, sometimes an hour and a half there and then 2 hours back. Just because, you catch that 5 o'clock, 5:30 time, a little bit of traffic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like California commute, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Well, you guys are out there saying 2 hours, that's nothing, huh?
Yeah.
I'm on the 880.
What is it in California? They track it by how many miles you have to drive versus how long you have to drive.
I think it's how long.
Is it how long instead of how many miles?
Because it might be 3 miles, but it could take all day.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Dang. So now you're up here in the Treasure Valley and living the life that you want because now you're up here where all the action is. And so what happened after that?
So after I moved here?
Yeah.
So I stayed in the military a little longer, I think maybe about two more years, and decided to separate, but I didn't want to separate from this area. So I actually bought my first house prior to knowing Dave. I bought in Nampa. And yeah, just after that, I decided to go to school.
Right.
I ended up getting divorced and then remarried, and the new wife,
right?
The new wife really wanted me to have that goal of getting that check mark of you have a degree. And so it looks like Dave's gonna pull up some memories here for you. Oh
my gosh, look at that.
Yeah.
We're so proud. And you've got all the little Mardi Gras beads and everything.
Yeah. So actually that the orange and blue and white rope that you see is actually a friend of my wife, and she makes those lanyards for the college graduates.
Okay.
So yeah, it was kind of fun.
Nice.
It was a good graduation. It was interesting times because that was the height of COVID.
Right.
When I was graduating. And so, funny story about the Boise State and them handing out tickets. It was very hidden of when it was going to happen and where it was going to happen and whether or not I could get tickets for my family.
Right.
So I didn't find out that I could get tickets for my family until 2 days before the event even happened.
Crazy times.
Crazy times. I called them and I was like, okay, so where's the shadowy syndicate that's hiding these tickets? Because it was just a different type of situation then.
But you got through it.
I got through it, graduated, and what I graduated in was a communications degree.
I can see that.
At the end of my degree plan, they ended up switching it to what's called a strategic communications degree. But I didn't know what that meant, but they changed it, and because it was public relations, then it became that. And after that, I started interning for a business owner here. Got some marketing experience, hands-on. I put out a message on social media, and I was like, I just want the experience, right? So I'm willing to do this for free. I just need the experience. And so that happened, and that's just kind of where I fell into marketing, and currently I work at Bish's RV.
Wow. And people in the Treasure Valley love their RVs, so you must be pretty busy over there.
Yes, the winter does have its downturn for the industry, but come spring, it's going to be
well,
really busy.
Congratulations. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So now you said you had kids. Can you tell me about your experience with the schools here in the Treasure Valley as far as your kids go? Sure.
Yeah. So 2 of my kids go to Barbara Morgan STEM Academy, which is in Meridian, and that is, I think it's off of Linder. Mm-hmm. And it's kindergarten through 5th grade. And my oldest daughter, Bailey, she skipped kindergarten. Originally she was going to school in Caldwell.
Right.
She was able to basically test out of kindergarten.
I'm not surprised. She got your brains.
Based on her reading scores. And so she went to 1st grade, and we decided to move to Meridian shortly after that and enrolled her in Barbara Morgan because it was a STEM Academy.
Right.
And, I had never seen those. Maybe I just, I was a kid in California. Maybe did they exist
Right.
in where we were at in California. Do you know, Dave?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know they had a lot of gangs there.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
We got a story about that one. But the STEM Academy has been really good because they teach the kids with hands-on learning instead of just having your face in a tablet or
Right.
your face in a book. You're actually learning the principles that you need to by practicing them. So science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
And so did she enjoy that experience?
She loved it.
Yeah.
And we knew that was the best fit for her because she is a visual and hands-on learner,
Right.
like her dad. Yeah.
Very nice. So that was one kid.
Yeah.
How did the other kids? Did they find? Of course, they've never went to California schools, but your experience being a student in California schools, and how do you compare that to what you would imagine it would be like to be up here as being a parent of a student?
Well, it's interesting you say that because if I was a parent now,
You are.
well, I mean, I am, but in California, everything I said up to this point has been a lie.
Right. Oh,
If I was a parent in California now, I would not feel comfortable sending my kids to school.
and why would that be?
Well, even when I was going to school, I felt unsafe.
Right.
And this is before it seems like society just kind of like lost their minds.
And you were going to Armahoe?
I did not. I went to Fairfield High
Okay.
for 1 year before I got transferred to Winters High School. But I did go to not Denver. Wow, Dover. Dover Middle.
Right.
And then I was going to Tolinas Elementary. So those were my three schools, or four if you count the Winters High School. But
Well, that really sucks because you never got a chance to go over lunch over to Dave's Giant Hamburgers.
no.
Dang. Well, he missed out.
But it was a different experience being in a California school versus what I know my daughter is experiencing here. For example, this isn't in regards to me, but my brother, he was at his school, Grange Middle School. There was two factions. Mm-hmm. There was the rappers and the rockers.
Huh.
Rockers spiked their hair.
Okay.
The rappers were of other ethnicities.
Right. Okay.
And so my brother didn't he didn't personally view himself as any one part of those groups. And he was just getting dressed in the locker room, but he found himself alone in the locker room. And then all of these guys come in that are rappers. And they put him in a circle. And then they count to 3 and they say, skunk him. I didn't know what that meant. He didn't know what that meant.
Uh-oh. But he found out.
He found out. Yep. So my mom ended up taking it to the school district. About 12 kids were beating him up. Only one of them was punished for it.
Really?
Yeah. So when you look at those kinds of experiences and you compare that to my daughter, who I feel, you always have your concerns as a parent, but sending her to school, I don't worry if that's going to happen to her here.
Right. Dang. I had a friend that went to Armahoe. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Got one right.
I think.
And he was younger than I was, and he said that his entire time going there, he never went to the bathroom. 4 years of high school, never went to the bathroom at all. Can you imagine what's kind of stress that you must be under to be in that position?
Yeah.
Wow.
It really is two different worlds.
Right.
So I lived in Fairfield.
Right.
And then when I was about maybe 14, we moved to Vacaville. And in our neighborhood next door to us, there was a city policeman for Vacaville.
Right.
And we were talking to him one day, and he said, even working, so we always compare Idaho to California, right? He said, even working in Vacaville versus where I grew up, Fairfield.
Right.
He said Fairfield is a whole nother world as far as in the negative light.
Oh, yeah.
Tons more issues in Fairfield than he experienced in Vacaville. And so just having his outlook on things, and now you compare Idaho to California as a whole,
True.
it's even more drastic.
Yeah. Man. So it's not just me saying that. Someone else has actually lived it. You guys are probably living it as well. Can you imagine when we both lived there, we didn't have the homeless tents everywhere.
No.
And it's just a different world, and it's certainly a world I wouldn't want to be part of. So you've got the kids, you've got the wives, you've got the jobs. So what challenges have you had in Idaho? You're making it sound really too nice.
Challenges in Idaho. I will say that the growth here has been a little bit of a challenge.
Oh, how so?
I find myself just frustrated on the drive home sometimes. So much so that I consider it a direct benefit if I can, and I'm sure this is the case other places too, but if I can flex my hours to go in early and leave early, just so that I miss the commute on both ends.
Right.
That to me is like one of the best benefits that a company could give me, is just having that freedom to do that.
So you employers out there, did you pick up on that? You can make your employees so much happier, and we love having happy employees. Just be a little bit flexible.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to go and work an 8 to 12 hour, whatever your working shift, and then spend 2 to 4 hours out of your day just in your car?
Yikes.
How are you going to work and then living at that point? You're just
And this is Idaho.
You're just doing it, right? Yeah, 2 hour commute, rare. When I say a commute, I say like I might be stuck in traffic. I think the longest it's taken me to get home where I'm currently working is an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
But it's usually because there's a wreck.
Oh, well, there's going to be wrecks. We got idiots up here too.
Some of them came from other places.
Very true. We saw that the other day when we had that snow, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I bet that day took you forever to get home.
I actually was out of town. Fortunately, that was one of the days that I was traveling for work, so I wasn't here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Another beef that we always hear is that, people are so rude. It's like if you have California plates on, someone's going to flip you off. Do you find that when you go out and you're talking with Idahoans or even transplants like yourself, is there a rudeness factor?
So I have my father who was flipped off by somebody. When he moved here, he did have California plates, and he was flipped off by somebody.
Right.
Now, I think that's pretty much the only issue he had. So it could have been the plates, or it could have been my dad actually did something that irritated that person.
Well, did you ask your mom what it was he did?
No. But me personally, whenever I talk about, I say I'm from Idaho. Right. I just try to avoid the California conversation altogether. But ultimately, they do find out I'm from California, and it's more of a joke at this point. Something we can laugh about, because I think we're at the point now that people understand that not everybody is coming here to make a quick buck on their house. Not everybody that's coming here is coming here to spread their ideologies.
Right?
Yeah. And not everybody is coming here to make this place worse. They're just coming here because it's better.
Right.
And I think that's generally the case. Actually, when I first moved to the Treasure Valley, I went to R.C. Willey to get some furniture. And there was a woman there. And through conversation, we found out she was from Southern California. She loved the beach. That's why she moved to Southern California. I don't know where she lived before, but it was in Idaho. And she wanted to be close to the water so that she could go enjoy it. But she had to work 2 jobs to be able to afford to live in California. And so she was never going to the beach.
Exactly.
So she moves here to R.C. Willey, works there in Idaho, and then took regular trips down to California to go enjoy the beach.
Right. It's a 90-minute flight.
Yeah.
Not bad. So, one thing that we have here that you don't get in a lot of places in California is those 4 distinct seasons. Yeah, we had that big snow a couple of days ago, but I don't know. I saw all sorts of pictures of our past clients out having fun with their kids. Do you have that same experience?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are right there.
Yeah, there I am right there. We're there. That was when we only had 2 kids.
Right.
Actually, no, the littlest one with Danielle, I'm not sure who that is from the back. We might have had 3 kids at that time.
Might have.
Don't quote me on it, but hopefully I captured all 3 of my kids, all the kids that I had in the picture. But anyways, regardless, we were spending time up there as a family because my wife as well is from California, and both of us, we love having the separation throughout the year.
Right.
So yeah, you do have hot summers and you do get your cold winters, but say you don't like those 2, going through spring and fall and enjoying those things is well worth.
Right.
Say you don't like the snow, enduring the snow for those 2 here. The fall, especially for me, it's the most beautiful time of year here in the valley. Just the trees, and then the weather.
And the pumpkin spice.
Everything pumpkin spice. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. And then you kind of feel like you have a broken up year a little bit. It's not just the same thing every day.
Right.
You got your 4 different time
And
periods.
even in winter, we have, some of those gloomy days, but oftentimes we'll have the snow and then we have all this sunshine. So the inside of your car is going to warm up quite a bit. So it's not like it's really terribly cold out there.
Right.
It's just like fun. And then kids can go out and play and it's sunny and they come back in and they're I don't know, they probably have that same love for snow that we do now.
Yeah, and it's doesn't usually even stick around very long.
No.
Like you have to make it a point to go out and enjoy it while you can, because the snow is not going to be around for a long time.
However, right where we are here in the Treasure Valley, we just get on the road and go up to Bogus Basin, and you'll have snow well into I don't know, April-ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can have the best of both worlds right here. So I know that you took up a hobby, really, a calling, where you're putting together patriotic videos for children to try to help them see, what patriotism's all about.
Yeah. So actually, that started because my wife was finding that the kids were retaining a lot of information by watching another person on YouTube.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to name drop this person or not, but Miss Rachel, she's a very popular, I think she is officially a preschool teacher.
Okay.
And during the COVID era, she wasn't able to teach in-person classes, and so she jumped onto YouTube and was doing the preschool lessons on YouTube, and she has become famous. She's been on like the Tonight Show and
Wow.
just all up in the media, right? But then we started noticing these little things that were just kind of inserted into her videos.
Things like what?
So, like there's an episode, I think it's for Halloween, where, where you would think you'd be talking about Halloween masks. She takes that as an opportunity to introduce the face diapers that we were wearing during
the COVID.
COVID, and encouraging kids to wear that and to thank them for protecting people around them. And so we started seeing those things. There was other things, just gender neutral things that were brought up in her videos. And so we said, you know what, we're not going to support this anymore.
It's a great idea, but apparently it's a powerful tool in that kids really get drawn into it. And if parents aren't careful, their kids might be exposed to things or indoctrinated into things that the parents don't want.
Right. And that's just, through the episodes that we were watching with our kids and the time that we're physically sitting watching, those are the things that we caught. But you get up as a parent, you go and you might go do the dishes and your child's still playing and watching or listening at the same time.
Right.
You don't necessarily know every single thing that's being shared. And so I realized that the only way that I could truly monitor what my children are consuming through the television is by creating it myself.
Right.
And so I decided to start this YouTube channel. It's called Patriotic Kids.
Patriotic Kids.
Very much in the early stages. I have one video out there. It's letter A. My kids have watched it several times. And they seem to really enjoy the format.
Hello, friends. Today we're going to be learning about the amazing letter A. Let's learn some more fun words that start with A and remind us of good American values. Airplane, like in the Air Force. I was in the Air Force. Our American Air Force pilots fly high in the sky. Can you fly an airplane like our American Air Force pilots?
Wow, that's actually really decent production quality there.
Oh, I learned from the best here.
Wow. I feel kind of sorry for him now. Man, but so this is, as I watched it, because I watched the whole thing, it's like, this is very engaging, and it's speaking to the people that you're trying to speak to.
Right. And
Kids.
Yeah. And so to the point of, certain things being included that we didn't want our kids watching. Well, why is it that we live in a society where if you do the reverse, you could look through the comments on one of my short videos where people were calling this propaganda. Teaching kids to be patriotic
Right.
is considered propaganda today, but what's been happening for the last 4 years has been totally okay.
Yeah. So it seems like, people have time to go make all these comments. They're probably not working and just waiting for the government check to show up. So
Probably.
I would say that the people that watch this, they get something out of it. They're maybe too busy to comment, but their kids certainly appreciate it, and parents would too.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was a few people that did appreciate it, but primarily I was doing it for my kids. So whether they like it or not is not
right. That's right. So you guys check it out. There's going to be a link down in the comments. You can see what you think of Aaron's video, and maybe have some suggestions for him as well.
Yeah, and sorry, Dave. I don't mean to keep it going, but that's my whole thing. Is I do have some shorts that speak directly to the parents, and that's something that I found that other channels where they're doing kids education, they're not doing that. They're not trying to engage with the parents and say, hey, if this is the type of content that you want your children watching, then sit down and watch this yourself and see if it's right for you.
Right.
Because it's all about being transparent. And I feel like just today, that's something that's lacking a little bit altogether.
Well, I think that's fabulous that, you saw this need, you had this on your heart to do something very positive for kids and parents. So kudos to you.
Thank you very much, Dave.
So we respect your time, and Aaron and I, we could go on for hours and hours, but as we get to wrap up, is there any last thoughts that you want to share of some maybe encouragement to people in California or whatever's on your mind?
Yeah, so moving in general sucks, right? Whether you're going to do it across state, locally, it sucks. There's no getting around it. But I will say that if you are considering moving to Idaho, use this man right here. His team will take extremely good care of you. This is a person that will go and he will do whatever you need him to do as far as looking at that house for you prior to you maybe making the trip to come and see it yourself. He is willing to go out and video for you so that you can really see, oh yeah, what does that kitchen counter look like? Or, how much storage is actually in the kitchen space? Those kinds of things, he's totally open to doing that. But when you're thinking about moving, don't let the uphill battle that you're viewing in your mind stop you from actually considering it. Because I promise you, having lived in California, and this is years ago, that making the change to Idaho, even with the changes that have happened here, it's well worth the struggle that it is to get here. Your life will change for the better. You'll find yourself that you are so much less stressed. You'll find yourself enjoying your daily life more. And you'll find that you enjoy being around the people here more. Really quick, one thing that I noticed here was people, when I'm standing in line at the grocery store, people are totally open to having a conversation with me. Whereas in California, I found that if I tried to talk to somebody or somebody talked to me, it was more of a, why are you talking to me kind of interaction. But that doesn't happen here. I find that most people here are friendly. And I think that just comes with the mindset of those that are here. People that want to experience maybe more financial freedom or just political freedom, both of those things can be found here in Idaho.
So it sounds like you are an Idahoan at heart before you even got here.
I loved my potatoes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for stopping by. And we promised to tell people something that they didn't know before. So we promised to tell you something that you guys didn't know before. And so, we have some names up here for different things. Is it Kuna or Kuna? Is it Boise or Boise? And as Aaron found out, the hard way, we have this road that goes all the way across the valley, and it's spelled Ustick, but I'm not sure how that's pronounced.
I'll tell you, it's not Ustic.
It's not Ustick.
It's not Ustic. It's a hard U, long U, U-stick.
Ustick.
U-stick.
So that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Also, sorry, one more thing that people may not know.
Yeah.
You actually don't have to use the freeway here.
What do you mean?
You can totally use back roads to get to wherever you want to go here.
Because we got them like every square mile?
They're all over the place. So I live in North Nampa.
Right.
I work in Meridian.
Right.
I take U-stick all the way from my house in North Nampa.
Right.
All the way to work in Meridian. I do not get on the freeway at all in the morning.
Nice. But I imagine that there's all sorts of problems with construction because we're building and putting in new infrastructure everywhere that you probably get slowed down by construction. But once that's all done, it's going to be so much nicer.
Yes.
That's my outlook anyway. Wow. Thanks for stopping by today, Aaron. It's been my
Thank you,
pleasure. Dave. And you guys, you want to come up here and find out all these great things that Aaron's been talking about? Give us a call, text, email. Maureen and I be happy to help you out. And until next time, it's Treasure Valley Dave. Looking forward to helping you get home.
I should have pointed to that one.